Natalie, thanks so much. The Greene County Juvenile Court system, law enforcement, and school districts are all teaming up to create a unified plan to combat school shooting threats. Now, the court says this comes after an uptick in serious threats made in local school buildings. Dayton 24/7 Now's Chelsea Six spoke with court and school officials about the goals of this new collaboration. Chelsea.
School, court, and law enforcement officials say they met on Friday, in which the Youth Assessment Center presented this PowerPoint to talk about the importance of threat assessments in schools. Their biggest goal is to prevent tragedy and keep kids out of the detention center. In the wake of a deadly school shooting in Michigan, the Director of Prevention and Intervention Services with the Greene County Juvenile Court says they had copycat threats in which they were called in to help. So the prosecuting attorney got school districts and law enforcement agencies in the county together.
Part of it's exploratory, just to find out what everyone's doing. And also we wanted to share that as an assessment center, we have a standing threat assessment team.
The threat assessments look at a child and determine whether that child may need community services or programs, or if the child poses a risk that may require detention. Juvenile Judge Amy Lewis says 6 children went through the court system in Greene County following the Michigan shooting. She says some of those kids were detained for the threats they made.
No one wants their child detained in detention based on what my hunch might be, so we need to have concrete information. And we need to have input from mental health professionals and schools. We need to know the history of these children.
Beaver Creek Schools Director of Student Services says they do have protocols in place to keep kids safe from threats in schools. But they say this collaboration is giving them a better understanding of the local resources to help the kids.
There's some resources through the juvenile court that I learned about that I think could get students some preventative help, some mental health support, some support outside of the school day.
Now, Higgins hopes conversations continue so a unified threat assessment is adopted at schools across the county. But he says it takes the whole community to continue having these conversations.
It takes everyone. And so the message to parents is to, if you see something, you need to say something.
Officials with the assessment center say parents can also refer their children to assessment services. We have their contact information and how the process works right now on Dayton247now.com. Just click on this story on our homepage.
First tonight, the federal vaccination mandate for businesses with 100 or more employees went into effect today. However, government agencies enforcing the mandate say it's going to be rolled out slowly. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Adam Merrill.
And I'm Megan O'Rourke. Dayton 24/7 Now's Bryn Caswell is live downtown with what local experts say could happen next as we await a decision from the Supreme Court. Bryn.
Adam, Megan, even though the Supreme Court had discussions about this mandate on Friday, they're hoping to have a decision with either this week or within the next month. Employers with 100 or more employees are now stuck in the middle between a federal vaccination mandate and the Supreme Court's highly anticipated decision. Cedarville political and history professor Mark Clausen says these are still unprecedented times.
We don't know which one they're going to choose. At this point, nobody has any idea which one they're going to choose.
If the mandate stands after the SCOTUS ruling, companies with 100 or more employees must be vaccinated or undergo weekly testing. If companies do not follow the mandate, in February, OSHA will start issuing citations to companies, which could be as much as $14,000 per violation.
OSHA and HHS did say a few days ago that they're going to postpone enforcement. So even though it starts today legally, they're putting off enforcement.
SCOTUS could make this decision within the week or take another month to deliberate.
The court has just heard arguments on this, the Supreme Court, and frankly, they're afraid they're going to lose. It's possible they could lose, and they don't. It would be all in vain if they just tried to enforce it now.
So, is the vaccine mandate beyond the statutory authority of OSHA? Employers will just have to wait patiently for that answer.
If the Supreme Court doesn't do something to clear up all the confusion, it's going to continue that way. It's a huge, huge burden on the companies.
I reached out to some of the Miami Valley's largest employers, and they too are in limbo about this mandate. Many of them tell me they will get back with me tomorrow with more answers or statements depending on how they are planning on pushing forward with policies.
First tonight, a live look at the Ohio Department of Health's coronavirus dashboard. As tonight, new daily COVID-19 cases have climbed to more than 18,000. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Megan O'Rourke.
And I'm Adam Merrill. It's prompted schools across the Miami Valley to pivot to virtual learning this week due to increasing numbers of COVID-19 absences. Dayton 24/7 Now's Allison Walker joins us live now after speaking with public health and school districts about their decision to go virtual. Allison.
Megan, Adam, Springfield High School, Schaefer Middle School, and Hayward Middle School are all remote this week, given the rise of COVID-19 related absences among students, staff, and substitutes. Now, public health projects many more districts may have to follow suit.
We had close to 300 positive and probable cases across all students and staff, which is right around 10,000 people. It's about 7,600 students, 1,500 total staff.
Springfield City Schools Superintendent Dr. Robert Hill says it was a difficult decision, but its 3 schools simply don't have the staff to provide a safe in-person learning environment.
Why not just close the whole district? Well, in a district like Springfield, any time that we can open the doors to provide a safe, warm environment with heat and 2 meals, social emotional support, and instruction, we're going to do so.
Hill added other schools in the district are holding on by a thread, but Springfield is not alone. Huber Heights City Schools tells me Valley Forge Elementary is remote this week for the same reasons.
Even with mask mandates in place, how concerning is the threat of Omicron in the classroom?
Almost every one of the cases that we've seen at the schools has not been a ripple effect through the school, but in fact, being exposed at home with family or friends.
And as Charles Patterson, Clark County's health commissioner, projects, the Omicron surge will peak in our region the next 4 to 6 weeks.
We expect there to be times when they have to close for a couple of days, and then they'll be back open, providing in-person learning as much as possible.
And Springfield and Huber Heights City School District's goal is to have all affected schools back to in-person learning by January 18th. Reporting live in Springfield, Allison Walker, Dayton 24, 7 Now News.
Allison, thank you. And our list of schools moving to virtual learning growing tonight. West Carrollton and Fairborn schools both announcing a move to remote learning on Thursday ahead of the long weekend. Centerville City Schools reporting bus driver shortages, and we've checked in with Dayton Public Schools. So far, there are no plans to move to remote learning. Now, we'll continue to update you on schools going remote on our website, Dayton247now.com. You can find those districts under this story. It's right there on the homepage.